On Sunday, I fly to New York, and then on Wednesday, I fly from New York to Chicago. On Thursday, I fly from Chicago to Portland. On Monday, from Portland to LA, and then on Tuesday, from LA to London. That is a lot of flights. It is one, two, three, four, five, and it's about 30 hours flying, of which I will be doing some sleeping, some staring into space, but mostly I will be reading. So this is my reading list for my rather glamorous sounding, but be rather dull, apart from the 3 days that I see friends, trip across the US. It is mostly business, and not particularly interesting business either. So what am I going to read? Well, I am going to take this opportunity to read at least two Jane Austen novels. For those of you who've been watching this channel, that is something I haven't yet done, even in at this advanced age. And I haven't done it for the reasons I've suggested, is that she is so part of the cultural landscape now beyond the novels that it is hard to imagine reading the novels with kind of with a fresh perspective. But I'm going to do my best to do that. So yes, those two, probably Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. But if anyone has any other strong recommendations, please feel free to do it, to recommend them, that is. Okay, from CB Editions, I'm going to read Things to Make and Break by May Lanthan, which is an assonant name, it seems. This was shortlisted for the Garden First Book Awards. I've only read one book. I've read two books by CB Editions, and they're wonderful. They're beautifully published. They have, you can't probably see how beautiful this yellow inside cover is. And it's recommended very highly by Gordon Lish, who was Raymond Carver's editor. So I actually know nothing about it, which is how I like to read books. So that's that. I'm going to read The Quiddity of Will Self by Sam Mills. This has been on my radar for a few years now, and I have to say, Sam is currently reading my most recent novel with a view to publish it. So I thought I'd read her most recent novel as an act of respect and good faith. And I imagine it's very good. I'm not a big fan of Will Self's writing. I am a big fan of Will Self. The couple of times I've been in his presence, although we've never actually met, we've said hello a couple of times, he seems to me to be a genuinely nice man. I mean, really warm and nice, and kind, and all of those things. I'm going to read or reread some writings by Freud. I read a lot of Freud in my early 20s, and I've been a critic ever since. I think his entire enterprise was metaphoric rather than in any way real, and I'm not entirely sure it is any way useful, but I feel I need to read him again, especially in a different, slightly more modern translation. So that's a plan. If I carry on criticising Freud, it will be with a more recent familiarity. And then my friend from many years, almost 30 years, Neil Hoskins, recommended this. Can't see it. It actually says there, there you are. Preparation for the Next Life by Atticus Lish, who is the son of the guy who recommended the May Lanthan book, Gordon Lish. So a bit of literary nepotism there. Well, not really nepotism, is it? But anyway, it's something. This looks very well. It's a very lovely cover. I know nothing about this as well. So yes. What else? I'm sure there are a lot of tubers who could read a lot more in 30 hours on a plane than I plan to do, but I plan to read these very slowly, um, as is my wont. So that's it. Wish me well, and that the planes don't crash, or at least one does. I mean, obviously, if one does, it doesn't matter the other one does, apart from obviously all the other people. But let's pray that planes don't crash, especially with me on it. That's it. I'm going to check in the various cities on my reading with a reading update. Uh, so yes, many thanks for listening or watching, or both, in fact. Um, and tonight I'm off to the book launch of Alex Phoebe's Playthings, which I've reviewed and is a brilliant, brilliant novel published by Gallybeggar Press. And if you read the review and you want to buy it, please go and buy it at the Gallybeggar site, so they get all the money rather than Jeff Bezos at Amazon or a Russian oligarch at Waterstones, because you're essentially giving money to billionaires at Amazon and Waterstones, but at Gallybeggar you're giving money directly to the people who pay the writers. And I'm going to do a bit on that in the coming weeks, because we need to change the publishing model slightly, and paying direct to publishers will be a start. So yeah, many thanks. Speak to you soon.